Welcome to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kelly White.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ask Me Anything. I'm spiritual medium, psychotherapist, and author Kelly White. And today we're going to be talking about auras, and I'm going to do some Vedic astrology. Lots going on. I have a lot to say as usual, but let me say a few hellos to some people. So do you believe it's January 15th already, 2026? Hard to fathom, right? Hard to believe it. It's already, as I said, taken off so fast. I knew it would. So Sherry Craft says, Kelly, my friend Sue, who crossed, I remember you telling the audience that she had crossed not that long ago, pretty recently. And she used to put confetti, birthday confetti, into cards. And today I was carrying some dishes and I saw a sparkle on the floor and it was a piece of her confetti. Don't you love how Spirit on the other side will make sure they're always giving us all kinds of messages and little signs and remembrances? And that's so cool, Sherry. That's so great. Oh my gosh. And you saw an opossum. Wow, that's a wild one to see. I'm used to seeing the raccoons also. Hi, Rolling Acorn. She says, happy 2026. I had a baby in 2025. Congratulations. And I'm now writing kids' books for her in 2026. Fantastic. Question. What does it mean when you get goosebumps or chills when you think about your loved one? When you get goosebumps or chills when you're thinking about them, they're right there. And if you're thinking about them, they're right there. And they probably could put that thought into you. So chills are how we feel our loved ones. It's how I feel energies. If I get the chills, I know exactly that it's an exact message. So thank you there. And she says her dad passed in 2022 and you get goosebumps when you get messages about him. Thanks so much, Chip. There you go. And keep writing. I think that's so fantastic because I'm going to be talking about this new moon coming up on Sunday and what it really means for the world and what it means personally to do. So I love that you have the idea of writing the book and you're going to do it because this energy will stabilize that and like almost concretize things that we put in play now. So we have to think in those terms, but I'll go over that when we go to talk about the astrology. Hi, Mrs. Shine Pono. Your mother passed away on the 7th. Oh, I am sorry. I'm sorry that she did. Yes, I will. I'll come back and get a card from that one, okay? And Melissa, she says, is it true that the term energy rather than aura is the philosophy center of the idea that energy speaks before you do? Yes, Melissa, absolutely. Hi, Miranda. I know you're from England. How are you? She says, I hope you are well. I'm writing a new journal, The Letter, that a medium gave it to her 25 years ago, and the medium has sadly passed over. I say sadly because 60 is not old. He's a friend of Colin Fry. Colin Fry is a wonderful medium, and I believe had been a good friend of Mavis Patilla in England. So, Derek. I don't know who Derek is, but I certainly know Colin Fry is. So there you go. And if you need a private session with me, I am available. I have some time left in January, and I'll have my February calendar up probably the next couple of days. Okay. So let's see. And Sherry, you saw it with your kayak. You saw an eagle with a fish in its mouth and a crow chasing it. And then you saw an otter. You're so lucky that you live in an area of such beauty that you get to see all of this. Sarah Stone said, I had a premonition last week that Bob Weir had died. Now let's get into this one for a second. That's big, Sarah. I looked in the news and I didn't see anything and I was glad. And on Saturday, she found out that he had died and she was devastated. She says, I'm mourning like he was family because I guess it's because I saw him play from the 20s. Oh, absolutely, Sarah, for sure. Throughout his life and at various venues. Is there any other reason you can see that I would feel this way? Sarah, when we've lost, some of these icons out there, of which Bob Weir was an icon and is an icon, we feel like we know them through their music and we can feel their energy, and it is a loss. It absolutely is a loss. Oh my gosh. And we're seeing so many pass over now, so and it's so funny because James and I have talked about this many a time. We will be talking about somebody The next day we find out that that person had passed away. So it's a premonition. Yeah, it could be a feeling. You're just thinking about somebody and then that happens. So, I know, Sarah, that's a big one. Hi, Renee. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to be talking about auras. Oh, so Leslie asked, I'm doing really well. She wants to know how I'm doing. I feel so good. Oh my God. The shingles have pretty much will be a distant memory soon. And I feel so much better. I feel like I have my old energy back and it feels great. I love energy. Seriously. And our fur babies, let me tell you about Charlotte. And I think I'll kind of get into this story because it's kind of interesting. And Jean, I am going to give you a card for Lola. I am going to do that, Jean. I didn't forget. And thank you for writing that down, but I have it in here to do that for you. And Leslie says, please press thumbs up for me. And I appreciate that very much. So I wanted to tell you about something about loved ones and something that just happened to me a couple of days ago. And it kind of played through to today, but I thought this was a good one. And it answers the question about our beloved dog, Charlotte. So our dog, Charlotte, is 6 years old, almost 7. Well, no, about 6.5 actually. And she's got cancer. So she's on a special regimen of medications, and she had chemo and a lot of palliative care. And she's just the sweetest girl ever. I know many of us feel this way about our fur babies. And so the other day, I had kind of a magical experience. Charlotte and I were cuddled up on my couch. We had the fireplace going, and we're watching Emily in Paris because, like two girls do. So we're watching Emily in Paris, and she's we're just cuddled on this couch with the fireplace, and I could feel the energy of like the magic energy around it. I could actually feel it. I knew that was a special moment, and it's one of those moments that like seared into my memory. And I'm really grateful for this because it felt so magical is the only other word, and otherworldly maybe. And I didn't want it to end. We watched 2 episodes and I had to go to bed, but I was so excited that I was just thrilled just to be with her in those moments, and just the memory of that was just so great. So anyway, I go to bed, and I had a very specific dream that night, and I want to share this with people because I think that this will help you guys to remember something here. So I had this dream that they called themselves Great Black Pyrenees, the dogs. 3 of them on top of each other like this, and they were watching over me and Dawn and Charlotte and watching over us. And it was so peaceful when I saw that. I knew immediately that they had to do with Charlotte, and they had to do with her care, and that animals have spirit guides. We all have spirit guides. Animals have spirit guides. And so I knew that these 3, and they called themselves Great Black Pyrenees. I've never seen a Black Pyrenees. I don't know from this dog. I did find out the next day that really a black one would be quite rare because basically they're white. So I was telling Dawn about this, and let me just explain to you what this means. So white Pyrenees, they guard the flock in the light of the day, and they blend in with the sheep. And Black Pyrenees are the guardians of the night. And so it means that you're being called to protect those who cannot see in the dark. And it appears to people who do shadow work or help others through dark times, such as grief counselors and spiritual mediums. Hello. And so the black variation kind of adds this like fierce charge to their energies. And it's a special kind of guide for souls that means it represents loyalty that crosses over the veil. And it's a sign that you have this powerful protector watching over you and that you're safe. And it's also for transitioning souls. So I know that Charlotte will be in that place, right? I know that to be. And what was so amazing to me about that experience was this morning, I was talking to Don about it, and he sent me a picture. His sister Marie, who died in the year 2000, she had a black Newfoundland, and his name was Moshe. And he showed me the picture, and I said, that's the one. That was the one on the bottom. Remember, I mentioned that they were kind of stacked, and the one on the bottom was slightly smaller than the other two that were huge. And I said, that's her. That's definitely Moshe. That one dog is definitely that one. And then I was telling Peggy, my niece, about this, and she sent me pictures of her two large, like I forget Bernese dogs. I forget Bernese dogs. I'm not even sure what they were called. That looked just like Great Pyrenees dogs that were black. And I said, that's it. 1, 2, 3. These are the 3 dogs that I saw. Now I had no way of knowing any of this, and I was so stunned. And then I have to tell you, it was the wildest thing, because then Don's sister came through to me. And it was the wildest thing. She said, and she just doesn't just appear out of, I almost never get a message from her. And I was just sitting there drinking my coffee, and I heard his sister Marie say, did you think we were not going to take care of this one? That's what she said. Do you think we were not going to take care of this one? So I share this story because we are never alone. Our animals never go alone. They have guides that have guides that have guides that are with us on this journey. So you can't forget that we all are, we're on a journey, and that we have loved ones on the other side. We may not be able to physically see them, but they are always there with us. So I really wanted to give you guys that, so you'll always know if you have lost an animal, that they are loved beyond and protected, and have all kinds of guides with them. So it was great. I was so happy. Made me so happy. So anyway, let's talk about the Vedic astrology for right now, because this is a big, big, big deal. This is a big deal. We have a new moon in Capricorn in Vedic astrology I'm talking about, and it's on January 18th. So that is this Sunday. So I want everybody to make a note of what you want to manifest, because this is a huge manifest moon, huge. But I'm going to talk about why this energy is so intense on January 18th. This is a new moon in Capricorn, and in Vedic astrology, it's in the nakshatra called Uttara Ashada. It's a very rare alignment, okay? So we had a stellium, several planets in Sagittarius. By this Sunday, they will all be in Capricorn. 6 planets will be in Capricorn, just a few degrees from each other. It's very, very rare. So we're going to have Mars, Venus, the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, and Pluto. This is heavy duty energy, because they are also all at nearly the same degree. And this kind of energy will bring shifts in governments globally, because Capricorn literally means government and the world stage. So expect big action on the world stage from approximately January 18th to the 20th, at least those 2 or 3 days. I mean, this is large energy. So the nakshatra Uttara Ashada means latter victory, okay? And it's ruled by the sun, and its symbol is an elephant's tusk, which represents strength, leadership, and endurance. But the planetary influences at the time of this new moon on the 18th, it's going to give us some indication of what's going to be playing out for the next 30 days. This is a big one. We're going to see a dramatic gathering of these 6 planets in Capricorn, which is an earth sign. So this also has because I was talking about Uttara Ashada, it has a connection with Lord Ganesh. So Lord Ganesh is the elephant-headed god known as the remover of obstacles. So if you've been stuck and feel stuck, let me tell you what, this energy pushes you along. This is an extraordinary energy, powerful beyond. And we use the term Shakti, or dynamic energy, and that's the attainment, if you will, of victory from this nakshatra Uttara Ashada. And it's a major deal. So personally, these days that are coming up, they're going to bring a strong focus on long-term planning, okay, and creating more stability in your life. So maybe activities that are related to your home or property or finances or something that you really want to, or a career, something that you want to bring a strong focus on, this is the time. You're planning something, this is the energy to do that. Okay. It means to do that. So Capricorn is an earth sign, and Capricorn actually means action. So it's old structures, and Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, the Lord of Karma, which is discipline, endurance, truth. And Capricorn governs structure. And on top of that, we have Pluto, which is deeply transformative at the same place as all of these other planets, right? So we're going to see structural changes in societies, finances, governments, institutions. It's just an enormous time, because also Mars is in this mix, and Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So it's normally, often Mars can be just reckless energy. Guess what? Not this time. Mars in Capricorn means strategy, and it means strength. And Capricorn can be unshakable. So this is during this time, you may find, personally, you may find courage where you thought you didn't have it. So if you've been stuck, this energy pulls you through, and it's stamina. So I'm telling you, the next 30 days, this big thing. So whatever you initiate at this stage, it has the power to test it, for the test of time, if you will. So this is a huge, huge, huge deal that this is coming up. So the next 2 or 3 days are pretty big. And then later on January 27th to 28th, Mars and Pluto, there's a conjunction. So that makes also some deep energy. And when I say on the world stage, with this configuration that we have, this could play out with Iran, this could play out with Russia, this could play out with Greenland, this can, China could step in. This is a big global situation with these kind of planets lined up like this. So next few days will be action oriented. So that's what I have to say about that. But if you, a good thing to do would be to meditate, get in there, and strategize for yourself. What is it that you want to do? Where do you see yourself? So it's funny, because I have been thinking about this energy for some time. And also, don't forget, on February 17, we have a solar eclipse, more change. It's a big year of change. And we also, on the 17th, we also have the year of the fire horse. Big change, like passion change, right out of the gate. And also, it's an 11 day on that 17th of February. These are big energies. And that's the day that I chose to do. I was really excited about this. Our new show with Dr. Shirley and Pelizzeri. So I'm very, very excited to be doing that show with Shirley. And it is going to start on the 17th of February. So please check. Well, you'll be seeing all kinds of things for this, for the 17th. But we're really excited about it, because we're going to be talking about, it's a show for these triggering times, frankly. That's the best way to say it. And there's so much that people will need tools for, and that's what Dr. Shirley is great with, the psychology tools. So our core themes around this show will be talking about, trauma, nervous system healing, attachments, of course, and relationships and emotional wounds, and the mind-body integration. But we'll be also talking about spiritual meaning and intuition and inner wisdom. We're going to be talking about all kinds of things, science-informed spirituality, no bypassing here. So we're really excited about that. And you'll be, watch out for this. It'll be February 17th. So I thought that would be a good day to start the energy up. There you go. Because that's what I like to do. So anyway, and also I was very excited because on February 7th, I am teaching a feng shui class with Julie Ann Siegel. And this is a feng shui for life and for work. And if you've not taken a class with us for feng shui, Julie Ann Siegel's a powerhouse with it. She knows it backwards and forwards. And it's so interesting because she's going to teach people simple and practical shifts that you can make immediately of how to prepare yourself for the energetic influence of 2026, the year of the fire horse. So we're going to create sacred energetic alignments for your home and your workplace. And she's going to teach you feng shui basics. And she's going to help you use your space with intentionality to support your peace and purpose and productivity. And I will tell you, you need peace this year. This is a big year. You need peace for this large energy that comes in, and it's starting up. So please join us. It's a 2-hour class on February 7th. I think it's at 10 a.m. Central Time for 2 hours. It's really great. It's going to be fun. And also, I have another class. I have a class coming up on wisdom and healing for the empathic soul. And that is on March 14th. And these are on Zoom. And it's just a 2-hour class. I'll be talking a lot about helping empaths through this time period. So there you go. That's what I have to say about all of this. And I want to answer. Oh, well, let me talk about auras. So let me talk before I forget. Oh my God, I was going to go right to questions without talking about the auras. I got so excited. Okay, let's talk about auras. So in spiritual and metaphysical traditions, an aura is believed to be an electromagnetic energy, and it's a field that surrounds the human body. It's described as an oval-shaped cocoon, if you will, of color and of light. And so I'm going to show you actually a picture of my aura back in the day. So let's talk a little bit about this first, though, because an aura can reflect what the person's current emotional well-being is. It can also reflect their spiritual evolution. It can also reflect someone's physical health. And I have lots of stories about that to share with you. But let's first start the first layer of the aura that's closest to the body, and that changes. So people will say, well, Kelly, is my aura always this color? No. It's just like a mood. It's reflecting of whatever's going on in your life, So it can change often, especially the emotional state, the part of the aura that's closest to the body, that changes rapidly. And that changes because of your immediate reactions. Like you could be in the best mood, and then you get that run in with somebody, not some nightmare, and then the aura will change. I'm telling you. So anyway, the emotional state is really important. And so you might see somebody whose aura has like really clear. And then you might see somebody who's very cloudy. So the clear colors indicate like positive emotions, okay, like joy or love or peace. And if it's muddy, I can tell you right now, and you've seen it, almost looks like Pigpen from Peanuts. Negativity, depression, anger, confusion, fatigue will come up in one. Absolutely. So, and I'm going to go through the colors too with you. But let's talk about the outer layers of the aura, because I think the outer layers also are really important. And that has to do with soul growth and soul awareness. And that's why I'm always talking about soul growth on Earth. This is why we're here in this timeline. Yes, it's an intense timeline. How'd you do? How are you doing with it? Because this is really going to help us grow immensely. So the outer layers are often more permanent, or they're slower changing. So they are believed to actually reveal a deeper personality traits, deeper spiritual development. And so the size of the aura, sometimes you'll see people walk in a room and you'll go, whoa, that person's got large energy. In a good way. And that energy, that aura could really expand. They could be quiet and have an expansive energy. Yeah, absolutely. Like imagine like a Mother Teresa. Like imagine that wave of energy. So often a large expansive aura is connected with charisma or somebody with a strong spiritual presence. So if you see like a tight kind of shrunken aura around somebody, that could be somebody who's introverted, or fearful. Usually it's fearful, or protecting their energy. So that's a big one. Now, there are also energy blocks and leaks. So people who read auras, and I've been reading auras for a very long time. Since I had my head injury, I could just start seeing auras with people. I kind of would tilt my head a certain way, and all of a sudden the auras would pop out. And I still will look at somebody's aura. I can see it pretty closely, pretty quickly, actually. But when you read auras, you also look for like shapes or tears in there. And if there's like holes or tears, holes really in an aura, that would indicate some sort of trauma or some place where a person is losing their energy. Maybe it's due to stress, or maybe it's due to a toxic relationship. That, believe me, toxic relationships really take a lot out of your aura, of your energy field. Oh, absolutely. Also, you can see dark spots, and sometimes they are unresolved grief, understandably. Sometimes it's when you hold on to a grudge. That's not a good thing. And sometimes it's their physical ailments that manifest in the energy field before the physical body. I've got a few stories like this, but I'll just go with a couple of them. I had a woman that came to see me. I've shared this story several times, but she came to see me for a reading, and she walked in, and her entire aura was black. And I just mean black. Uh, I just couldn't believe it. I mean, with my physical eyes, this is what I saw. I said, wow. I said, are you? I knew she wasn't sick. I was concerned that she was either just about thinking about dying, or that she was going to be suicidal, or that she was going to die. And I said, without missing a beat, I didn't waste a second. And I said, are you suicidal? And she said, yes, I tried to kill myself the night before. Yeah. And something happened, and she came to see me. Damnedest thing. She's thriving now, and she lives in another state, and she's thriving now. But I'll never forget that experience. Another time, a woman came to see me, two times. A woman came to see me, and she was all green, like kind of a muddy green. So not like a bright Kelly green, more like a muddy green. And I wasn't, and it just popped up. It just popped up when she walked in. And I thought, I wonder what this is about. Is she ill? No, she was not ill. She was jealous of a friend of hers. And the whole session was about jealousy. They have that expression, green with envy. I actually saw it. It was like a muddy, weird green. And she was so upset over her friend, and just, frankly, flat out jealous. It was the damnedest thing I had seen. On the other side of that, I've seen people will come in, and I'll see the most beautiful of auras that come through them. So it's interesting. So an aura is not static. It actually interacts with the environments and the people around it. And so they say that when two people are really in love or deeply connected, their auras tend to blend or merge. Often, too, when a person feels threatened, their aura may harden or create like a wall to deflect negative energy. That's an important one to remember. And so when we're looking at the colors of auras, again, auras are going to shift and blend depending on what is going on and how much spiritual consciousness you have. And it's remember, spiritual consciousness is a developing, where it is your core essence of who you are. And that shows up in the auric field. So again, let's say red. Let's say your aura is red. That's can be on the positive side. If the aura is red, every once in a while I'll see somebody with some red aura. It's not typically what I see, but it can be vitality or passion, grounding, because it is the first chakra with that. Physical energy. It could be strength and courage. So there's all kinds of positive things with red aura. And on the negative side, it could be, what do you think? Anger, of course, frustration, anxiety, feeling burnt out. I'll get that one too. or materialism, somebody that is really materialistic, that can come in. So again, there's always with a color can be a positive and a negative. If there's orange around, I love when I see somebody who's got orange around. It means creativity. They're so creative when I see that. It's confidence. Okay, it's also sociable. If you want to be social, let's say you want to go out and you're going to a party, wear a little orange. Orange helps you with, being social, especially if you have some, fears about it. Not everybody's attracted to orange. I remember I said to my grandson, August, I said, "What's your favorite color?" He said, "Orange." I said, "Wow, go him." So it also brings sensuality, orange does, and it brings joy. So it's really on the positive side. On the negative, it can be related to change. And if somebody is resistant to change, or it can be suppressed emotions. Again, this is depending on the color of the orange, right? And it can also bring addiction. It can also mean addiction, actually. So if we see yellow, I remember once I was walking down, I think it was Melrose in Los Angeles, and I looked I was, walking by the stores, and I looked in the store. I couldn't believe what I saw. I saw my own aura, and it was bright yellow. And another man walked by me, and he said, "Whoa, you have yellow all around you." And of course, this is in LA, but I said, "I know. It's the damnedest thing." But yellow is positive. It's happiness. It's optimism. It's spiritual awakening. I remember Mavis Patilla, when we did colors for my mom, when my mother had cancer, she said, "You make sure," she said to my mom, "that you wear yellow pajamas to bed." She said, "because that will give you the positive that you need to help with cancer." I'll never forget that. So anyway, yellow's on the negative side of the yellow, like I say, it's a funky color of a yellow. Fear of losing control, over analyzing, criticizing. Okay, so let's say it's green. Now I talked about on the negative side of green with envy, right? But on the positive side, green is when I was in the hospital on my third surgery, and I was praying for a sign that I was going to be okay with this third surgery that I had to have. And then my doctor walked in at 7 a.m, and he was bright green. I couldn't even see his face because he was all green. And that was the sign I needed. So I knew I would be okay in my third surgery. And so it's healing. And he was such a healer. He is such a healer. Healing, it's balance, it's love, it's compassion. You also see this often in healers and in teachers. And again, negativity, on the negative side, jealousy, insecurity, withholding, that kind of a thing. Now, blue is extraordinary. One day I was working, my mom and I were working with our dear friend in a session, and she walked in and I said, "Marianne, oh, you're all blue." I saw blue all over her. And my mother, who never really looked at auras before, all of a sudden went like I said, "Why didn't you have to say anything to my mom?" My mom went like, she kind of moved her head. She said, "Oh my God, I see it. I see the aura." And I was so happy that she got to have that experience. But anyway, blue means calmness, communication, the truth, loyalty, peace. And the negative side of that is fear of speaking up, or depression, or coldness, or even melancholy. All of these emotions are associated with a color. So purple, if you have indigo or purple, it's intuition, it's psychic ability, it's deep spirituality, it's wisdom, and it means to connect to the divine. You are connected to the divine. And in fact, James and I were at a thing, right? We were teaching a class in, let's see, it was January of 2020. And after the class, we decided to get our aura pictures taken. And his came out, he'd been doing readings, and his came out purple and white. And mine came out purple and gold. And he said, "You're the teacher." So it meant spiritual teacher, and it meant for him, he was connected with the other side. It was unbelievable. But so that's important. And on the negative side, it's a disconnection from reality. It can be that. So maybe somebody who's schizophrenic or somebody who's having a psychotic experience, that could happen. I used to have a neighbor down the street, and we used to call her the purple lady. Everything in that house was purple. Everything, her hair was purple. Her dog was purple. I always thought that was, wildly eccentric. But anyway, was that a disconnection from reality? Possibly. I don't know. It was pretty wild. Anyway, pink, and I wanted to show you something. So the only aura picture I could find of myself, I have several, because I have been to these people that take your aura picture. And I think at that moment, they do represent what is you're going through at that moment. Okay, again, it can change, but I wanted to show you something about, because I thought this was a good one. So this was about the year 2004, 3, 2 or 3 or 4. It was a long time ago, but this was me back in the day. And you see the pink aura. My aura was completely pink and white. And here's the body of it. That wasn't my body. It was just the way they do that. But anyway, pink, it was all pink and white. And I had been thinking about my daughter. That's so that, and the love I have for my daughter. And I always remember that pink one. And that's on the positive side. And it can also mean romance. But in this case, it was unconditional love. And on the negative side, a murky pink can be emotional immaturity or somebody who's real needy. Okay? And if you see white in the aura, it's purity, it's protection, it's truth, it's high spiritual vibration. They say that they see this with newborns. That's a big one. And also highly evolved. And again, if it's black or dark, there's blocked energy. There's something going on here. And somebody had asked me, what do lightning bolts mean in an aura? And I was going to answer that question. So because people will say, I've seen different shapes or flashes or sparks or lightning bolts. And that can be, it's several things. It can be some sudden thing that's happening. It can be like a spark of an idea, like all of a sudden you have an epiphany and that happens. It can be pent up energy. Sometimes it can be anger, depending on what it is. It can be nervous tension. Often it's a shift in consciousness in such a good way. It's like a sudden change of spirituality. So, and it also can bring creative bursts. So when you see that in an aura, I've seen in auras, angels. I'll often see angels connected to somebody's aura. And if I'm doing a session for somebody, and I'll say, "Oh, I know exactly. You're from the angel. You're from the angel area," because you can see it. I can absolutely see it. So that's kind of fun. So I hope that answers some of your questions about auras, and will answer as many questions as I can. And Sherry Craft says, Kelly, I'm the girl with the questions. You are. She says, I'm wondering what your favorite color means. Certainly it has to have spiritual meaning. You are attracted to one color or another. That's very true. So I imagine it has to be something about you, but what? Yes. So it's depending on, as I went through the colors, Sherry, it's a great question, by the way. Like I, back in the day when I was growing up, I had three favorite colors: brown, green, and yellow. That was it. My room was brown, green, and yellow. All my colors were brown, green, and yellow. And I never liked blue. I don't know why, I just didn't. I can't get enough blue now. I love blue, and especially after I had my traumatic brain injury. I went right into the whites and golds and certain colors of more aqua blue. I love that color. Yeah, I think as you mature or as you grow spiritually, something happens and you pick certain colors. Like my mom, her favorite color was pink. She looked great in pink. Dawn's mother's favorite color was pink. And as soon as they would put pink on, you could just see the aura come out of both of my mom and Dawn's mom. So, and so Laura Crum, hi Laura, she says, can my aura reflect the energy that I've absorbed from others? You betcha, you betcha, you bet. Yes. So this is why when I'm teaching that empath class, I'm going to be talking about setting boundaries, because empaths, and your question is, are empaths auras different? They don't have to be, but they tend to mergy unless they've done work on themselves and understand that they are what understand know thyself. So understand how they are in the world and how they connect and who they're connected to, and to learn to set boundaries, because empaths can easily, get symbiotic with somebody. They can merge with somebody and also absorb others' stuff. And so, hence, empaths might be exhausted because they haven't set boundaries and they're giving away all their energy, or they're absorbing somebody else's stuff. It's a great question. So, Donna Galut, if I'm, let me see, Glee Ilmi, I don't know if I'm saying your name right, Donna. She said, I was once told by a psychic that my aura was blue. I had a large white stream going into the top of my head. So that's deep spirituality. This is great connection. But the other thing was that within my aura, there was the lightning bolt. So that would have been creative, spiritual. I hope that answers the question for you. Those lightning bolts. You must have been at that moment really getting into your spirituality. I'd love to see where you are now with all of it, because it's, again, auras can change depending on how much growth we've had, how much we're learning, how much we're not absorbing. So think like that. And Sherry says, do I think aura photography shows true aura colors? I do at that exact moment. I do at that moment. I've had several different pictures and they reflected exactly what I was going through. So I hope that helps. So I want to get some cards for people. Jean, I want to get you a card for Lola, honey. Get you a card for your dog Lola, who passed away. Oh, Jean. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me just do some shuffle here. Hold on a minute. Okay. Oh my God, Jean. I am surrounded by loving animals. I'm surrounded by loving animals. There you go, Jean, from Lola. I have chills. She is so around you. Oh my gosh. And there was another, Mrs. Shy Pono, you had asked me for a card too, I believe. Let me see. No, yeah, your mom. Let's get you a card. Okay. I feel completely lost. My son is feeling lost in May. Oh, you've had a lot of loss here. There is no time where I am. Time is only on the earth. So the way I would view that is just know that they're around you. Okay, that you will be together again with them. You will be together again with them. That's a lot of loss, honey. That is a lot of loss. There's been a lot of loss. In fact, a shout out to our dear friends Frank and Adrienne. And I know that Frank, you recently lost your brother. I'm sorry, honey. Again, everybody will be with their loved ones on the other side. When it's our turn to be there, we will be with them. But I have seen a lot of loss in a short period of time. I'll say that. Renee, you're welcome, Renee. So let's see. Let me get some questions here. Sasha says, Kelly, Happy New Year. 2026 is truly waltzing in with gusto. It is so true, right? Beautiful Renee was talking with me this morning about auras. It's interesting how our heart space works with auras. Very true. If you come from a really good heart space, of love and compassion and kindness, the whole aura changes. The whole aura, and you can't make that up. The thing about auras is you can't hide behind them. Like it can't be like with a narcissist, you might see some real muddy nonsense around a narcissist. Really, really. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yep. So there you go. Okay. Laura says, Kelly, my husband had a dream about his dad that passed, and they were sitting at a table talking about many things. And at the end, his dad said to him, see you at the realm. Any thoughts? Oh, I got chills. See you at the realm. I guess when his son is there with him, he's not going anywhere now. But when his son is in the realm, I have to imagine that that's how they speak, if you will, about the other side. When you're at the realm there, in that arena, in that realm. But that's fantastic, Laura. Oh, I'm so happy for him. Let's get him a card too. As a soul, I can be in several places at once. There you go. And that's the truth. They feel so good on the other side, and they can be in so many places at once. And I'll tell you, please, please pay attention to these dreams. This is such a powerful time in history on this timeline that our dreams will be guiding us and directing us and giving us messages now more than ever. So pay attention to your dreams. Okay. I'm so happy everybody is here from Buffalo Grove. Hey, Dolly. Isn't it cold out? Sandy Stubner. How are you, my friend? I'm going to give you an angel number, Sandy. Sandy, I want you to set your intentions because this is a powerful time. This is a powerful time, okay? Sandy, this is for you. Ooh, 33. Action. Action. Okay, set your goals. I tell you what, with all these planets in Capricorn, oh my God, it's very big. It's large energy. Mari from Japan. Hi there. Hi, Amber Lily. How are you doing, honey? Hi, Marilyn. Hey, Marge. Bailey says that her son sent her a feather. How fabulous is that? Oh my gosh. Hey, Gail and Shelly, it has been a crazy energy out there. My daughter called me today and she said, Mom, it's like a 12 today. I said, yep, it has been a 12 all week. Jackie from London. Hey there. Hi, everybody. I am having a really good energy day. I'm telling you, now that I'm not in any pain from my shingles, I feel friggin' great. Okay, here we go. Jackie says, what advice can you give to support with learning tarot card reading, opening and ending a reading in a healthy and respectful way? Oh, that's a great question. Now, I don't do tarot, but so any way that you open a reading, you want to do that in a healthy and respectful way. So you want to set the energy with the person that you're going to do, you're going to receive the messages that they need, and you just set it in, you keep the vibration in a really healthy place. Okay, that's so important to acknowledge the space and to acknowledge the souls and to acknowledge the universe to help guide you. So you want to set that, and also you want to end it in a respectful way. Thank you to the universe. Thank you for the guides for guiding us through this. Something along those lines. Yeah, I think it's a really great question. I really appreciate that, Jackie, more than you can imagine. Okay, Amber says, Kelly, what does the year of the fire horse mean? It means, so the fire horse, the last time there was a fire horse was in the year 1966. So if you were born from like mid-February, no, actually, I think it was January of that year. No, it was like mid-February of 1966 through about February of 1967, Paul, I'm thinking about you. You would be a fire horse, and it means passion. It means like energy. It means you here with a mission. It changes. It's a fiery driven sign that, let's say you're not in touch with the passion that let's say you're a fire horse and you are not in touch with all this. You will be this time. You will be now. And I'm going to talk a lot about that in the next couple of weeks, but it's a big deal. I think it's one of the biggest deals because it's so rare. It's so rare. Okay. Okay. So what else? Let's see. Mari Gunny says, I went to a shrine yesterday to burn old charms and offerings. How fabulous. What a good idea. I had a nice cup of sake at the shrine. How great. Hey, Lynn, I think that's really great. Karen, Kelly, and the Kellites. I do like that. So Terry says she felt heavy energy and sad, heavy, when Tom Petty left us. Terry, I did too. I was just stunned, really stunned when that happened. I'd been at Gary Shandling's funeral, actually, his memorial, and Tom Petty got up to play, and he was really good friends with Gary. And then, of course, then Gary died, and then Tom left after that. I was just so stunned. No, Angel Light, thank you for asking. So James and I, we're no longer doing the show on Tuesdays. James is doing TikTok lives, and he's teaching his writer's class, and he's got his mediumship too, and all of this takes a lot of time, everybody. So he's not going to be doing our show. He'll be on to do predictions, and I'll do things with him. And we're still best of friends. And Dr. Shirley and Pellizzeri and I are going to be switching it up. And we have a whole new everything that's coming out, and it'll be on February 17th. And it's really to help the world right now psychologically with some great tips for this energy of listening to what you guys are going through, talking about the energies and how we can help you through a lot of this time period. So that's what we're going to be doing, and we are very, very excited about it. I'm excited about that. So Rose Oliver Lee says, my fur baby Hunter passed away last August. Is he visiting me? Oh yeah, first of all, you're July 8th. That is a 7 of diamonds. Of course. And I want you to think about that story that I was talking about with my dream of the 3, they called themselves Great Black Pyrenees, but they were some offshoot of Newfies and some offshoot of something. And whoa, did I get it was such a big message, and it really is such a message for everybody. Your fur babies are always there. If you need them, they are there. And they have their own guides too, which I love that. Hey, Megan, coming in from Australia. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for watching that. Hey, Elizabeth Preston. Elizabeth, let me give you a card, honey, because I was just thinking about you. Oh, you're going to like this, Elizabeth. 2255, self-love. Self-love. There you go. I think that's a really, really good one for everybody. Okay. Oh, and Rose, yeah, you can get a card for your fur baby. You bet. Okay. He says, remember me by the happy memories that we created. So make sure you put out your pictures of your loved ones and your fur babies. Absolutely. They do come back to see us. And some of them come back for us. And some of them come back to be our next fur baby. So it's really interesting. Anyway, so Morris says, thank you for helping me feel settled and know that I have strength and endurance. Yes, you do. Hey, Lori Clark, you do. You do. Hi, Evie. Absolutely. So yes, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, focus on, and Jen says, focusing on building and manifesting your real estate career. Okay, Jen, for you, that's perfect to do because that's the energy of Capricorn. It is real estate. It is government. It's property. This is a large energy, and really this energy plays out on the world stage in the next few days. It just does. So Kim in Nature says, Kelly, the past few weeks have been very difficult, lowest of lows. Today it lifted all of a sudden. Thank goodness. I was at my wit's end. So let me tell you, Kim in Nature, I've got chills. This has been some hard ass energy, but and it's not getting easier, but I felt energetically that something had lifted too, Kim. Something had lifted. So I'm glad to know that it is lifted. Let's get you a card, honey. Okay. Ooh, 88. A reward. A reward. I love that. And just know we can have some darker times or some more challenging times, and then we can have some upbeat times and light times. Okay. Earth is full of everything. Hey, Rita. Hey, Kim Ann. How are you doing? Cosmic timing. Rita says, Kelly, I was eating dinner at 8 p.m. and I forgot to tune in, but when I finished and picked up my phone, I got notice of your program. Better late than never. Yay, Rita. I'm so glad to see you. Ann Rogers. Let's get you a card, Ann Rogers. Ooh, this is a good one. 1321. 1321. Awareness. So that could be setting your awareness up. And, part of what I do is I want to help people become more aware of their choices, more aware of what they're doing, and spiritually certainly more aware. So I love that. Okay. I love that. Yes, Terry, make sure, meditate, figure out what's good for you, what you want. So thank you. I think it's going to be such a great show on the 17th. And also on the 17th, that's a big, big day. Okay. Tammy says, Kelly, if I was born in the year of the fire horse, does that bode well for me this year? It does. Tammy, it does. It bodes well for a lot of energy and passion and kind of pushes you out, pushes you on your path. So yes, I would say that. I would definitely say that. Okay. Patty Campbell says, I've only seen an aura over someone once in my lifetime. It surprised me and was pretty awesome. The first time it started happening to me early on, 2005, they would, I was like, whoa, I was intrigued. Now it's like, now you have my attention. I was so intrigued. And I thought it was just something that just currently, would just happen. But then I trained myself. I have what's called a lazy eye in my left eye. And when I was young, the doctors wanted to do surgery on it and everything. And both my parents said no, no, no. And you know what? I'm really grateful that they did say no, because it really, I relax it, and it just helps me. You relax your eyes and kind of tilt your head, and you can start to see the auras. And auras are funny. They might start like this. I'll do another show where I teach people how to do this, but you might see a little like white line around somebody. Use a white background. Have somebody or an animal or a person stand in front of a white background. That's what you need. Kind of relax your eyes. Then you see a little pop up of a light, and then all of a sudden it could go like this, and then it just pops out. And then you might see blue, or you might see yellow, or you might see, whatever. Now, if somebody's really negative, that would be a fun one to experience, because you'd be like, whoa, look at that. I'll be darned. You will see an aura. It could be muddy. It could be an unhealthy color of certain colors. What you want to see when you look at somebody's aura, because auras don't lie. It will tell you exactly where the person is. Is the person depressed? Is the person really in a good place? It will show you. It will reveal that. Okay. Melanie says, Kelly, I once had I was told that I have a bright light green aura. I can see auras, but I can read energy. Yeah, I can't see auras, but you can read energy. So I bet you, Melanie, that you actually can see auras. You have to just train yourself. All of this just takes time and training and time to do it, and have a passion for it. If you develop a passion for it, it's going to be really fun. In fact, your friends will be like, read me. What's my aura today? And then you'll be like, all right, I'm past that stage already. But it's very, very good. Okay, Teresa says, Kelly, spiritually, mentally, I believe I'm doing well, but recently I've suffered several accidents that have had me pretty injured. What's up with that? Isn't that a Saturday Night Live line? I'll tell you what's up with it. That means you need to rest. When you start falling and having accidents, you need to stop. The accidents are telling you to stop, go inward, gather your strength, gather your energy, look what else is going on in your life. Are you having problems with people? Are you worried about something? Really ask yourself. You have all the answers. Go within and ask yourself what is going on. And be real honest with yourself, okay? Because it's when you fall, it's really the universe is asking you to stop. Okay, there you go. Okay. Renee says, Kelly, I've noticed when somebody is lying, the aura around the head is black and opaque. Totally, Renee. Totally. So, Lisa, I will do another show where we talk about practicing seeing an aura. But we will definitely do that. Okay. And Kim Ann says, Kelly Green means to be outdoors. I think it does, Kim Ann, that Kelly Green does mean that. Sherry says, what does someone's favorite color say about them? Well, it could say a lot. I have a friend whose favorite color is brown, and all she wears is brown, and that's it. I would say earthy tones. It's very earthy. That's it. Some people are afraid to wear color. They'll wear black all the time. That's why when you have a session with me, I'll say, no, don't wear black, because it interferes with when I do a session with somebody, the black. I can't get past the black. I like to see white or something light. It's easier for me to do the session. So that's why I always say, just don't wear black if you're going to have a session with me. Anyway, I hope that. Yes, Carlene, you can see your aura around your fingers when you focus. That's so true. And a friend's aunt taught you how to do it. Right now it's yellow-green. See, you can see it's very bright, right? Yes, Joanne, yes, you can see auras in a person, but you can also sense their aura. Absolutely, even if you're not in the same room. Oh, absolutely. Once you start to get really in tune with all of this, you can do all of this. You can do all of this. Okay. So there you go. Anyway, everybody, I hope this was a good session for you guys. If you want to have a session with me, just go to my website, kellywhite.com. I've got some sessions back open in January, and then soon my February calendar. I only do 1 month at a time that I put out. Okay, and that's kellywhite.com, and go check out my events. A lot of things coming up, and I look forward to seeing everybody next Thursday, and we'll talk about everything. Okay, so remember, set your intentions, everybody. This is a big weekend with this new moon coming up. Set your intentions and strategize. Bye.
You've been listening to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kelly White.